Hello, guys, and welcome to another All Balls pre-game look-in. We'll be discussing a lot of the games for game week 5, especially two of our biggest ones. And to discuss it, we have three very staunch gentlemen along with us in the studio. Well, not in the studio, but from their respective homes. To start off with the regards, Karan Shankar, Sandeep Krishnan, Clayton Hogamia, and Michael Lal Linkma. Welcome to the show, gentlemen.
Thanks, Carl. Looking forward to a great discussion here.
Well, yeah, let's cut straight into it. Starting off with our first big game of the weekend. It's going to be West Ham versus Man United. So, Karan, I'm going to start off with you. Actually, no, I'll start off with Michael, actually, since it's going to be West Ham hosting. Michael, West Ham are going through a pretty good run. David Moyes, though, has failed to beat Man United since leaving in 2014 in all his 7 attempts. So, do you think he can break that curse this weekend?
He technically has the best team since then to face Man United. But arguably, you would say that this is probably the best Man United team to face also since then as well. If Antonio was in the squad, I think I would have been much more positive with this. But I think we have it in ourselves to at least get a draw. So I think this is going to play out as a draw, actually.
Yeah, calling it a draw. I mean, it should be quite an entertaining game. But Man United also, though, Karan, they're on song right now, and they have this kind of rock down the center. I mean, they seem to be doing relatively better, unlike some teams, which we're not going to discuss about. But yeah, I mean, the aura of Cristiano Ronaldo, the legend, is back.
Yeah, that's definitely lifted the club. Ronnie is back, and of course, there's a positive aura around the club and a couple of good results. But West Ham's they're a thorn, and Moyes he gnaws at you. He gnaws and gnaws and gnaws, and so I completely agree with Michael in the fact that they very much have it in them to just make it difficult, play a low block, and just make us drop points out here. And if United really have any title ambitions, West Ham, these kind of games need to be just won. You need to grind out these results, and at the end of the day, it's Moyes, man. So I think we need to brush him aside. And they're a good team, though. I have a lot of respect for West Ham. I like that they play good football. They're gritty. Declan Rice is class. Michel Antonio is class. They have quality, but I think United need to this is that season, right, where you just get done with these games. No fuss, no thrills, just out of the way, 3 points.
Well, yeah, that's actually a pretty decent call. I mean, Michael, West Ham have been unbeaten in their last 7 games. It's their best run probably since Feb to April 2016.
Yeah.
When they were in that same sequence. So it's again something in where they can take to their stride, even though, and again, they're playing at home.
Yeah, that 2015-16 run that we had was actually the best in our history. That was our longest unbeaten run ever in the Premier League, which was 10 games. And we're at 7 now, like you just said. This is the strongest team that Moyes has put together in a long time. I'd even be biased and say that this is probably his strongest team ever outside of Man United. And even including Man United, I'd say, because with everything that we put up, especially if Antonio was playing, this would have been a brilliant team to play against. I think the thing, which is the key thing, which Moyes brought in when he first came into West Ham, was that sense of you need to work hard. It's not just about the skills that you bring into it, but also you need to run back. You need to support the midfield. The strikers need to support the midfield. The midfield needs to support the defense, and so on and so on. And he's got the exact players that he needs right now. He's got players who mix in both the flair that you expect from West Ham, kind of, with the hard work that you get from people like Rice, Soufal, Souček, and Antonio also. Antonio is the epitome of it. Like, he's a striker who is willing to run back and outmuscle the midfielders, get the ball, and still like show some flair up front and score the goal. So that's what Moyes has got, and he's got all of those elements working in really good condition right now. And we're coming off a really good win against Zagreb also. Last night was a brilliant performance also. So spirits are going to be high. This thing I'll give you about Moyes, though, regardless of what his reputation has been, he's shown over the past 6 months that he's going to be on the attacking foot, in the sense that, in a counter-attacking sense, but he's always going to be on the offensive foot. He's not going to make defensive subs anymore. Last night we were leading 2-0 and he brought on Benrahma. stuff like that. I think he's really shown that he's gotten a lot of confidence in the team that we have right now. So yeah, it's going to be a very entertaining match, I think. So without Antonio as well.
I mean, I agree with everything. I agree with everything except Moyes being very jacking. The 2 years, the 9 months that we had him, my God, that'll bore you to death, man. You just want to stab your own thigh with a fork.
But Karan, coming back though, I mean, our players to watch, as Michael just said, that they're going to miss out on Mikel Antonio, who's already been suspended. Probably Vlasic might come in that position. But Karan, I got to tell you also, for Man United, you all have had a lot of players on form. And the biggest one I can right now talk about, besides Cristiano Ronaldo, of course, is Paul Pogba. He's got 7 assists compared to his last 2 campaigns where he had a combine of 6. So he's also definitely someone to look out for. 100%.
Pogba is going to be key, especially with West Ham playing. They're very compact. So to break through those lines, Pogba is he does it. He's our man to do that. Bruno, of course. And hoping, like Mason gets in the act. He's been in good nick, and before Cristiano was there, it was all the goals came from Mason, and so he's going to be dangerous. I'm hoping Sancho gets off an assist, the goal, something. He's looked a bit leggy, even against young boys and stuff. He got a chance where, like him playing for Dortmund, you'd see him put that away day in, day out. Like that's just regulation stuff for him, but. Hoping he gets there. His touches need to be right. It's just confidence, man. A goal or an assist, I think, will lift him, and he's class. So hoping he comes through. There's always Cavani, who has not showed up yet in the season. So I don't know. Maybe we play a front 2, go back, throw it back to the Cole and York days, and Cavani, Ronaldo. That'll be fun to watch. Actually, I don't know if this is the game, but
what about J-Lings, dude? J-Lings.
I'm happy to tie a ribbon on him and send him straight back to the London Stadium.
Well, I don't know. For me, right now in my FPL team, I'm really banking on Ronaldo because apparently he was involved in 6 goals in his first spell in his last 4 games against West Ham. I think he's most likely to score. But gentlemen, before we move on to the next game, as fans, Karan, I'm going to start off with you. And Michael, I hope you probably change your mind on the score. But Karan, what do you think the score is going to be?
I think it's going to be a tight game, but we'll... if we can get ahead, maybe a 3-1. Let me cut the bullshit. Just give you
3-1. Nice. And Michael, 3-1 United. Michael, do you still think it's going to be a draw, or do you still think that West Ham, because they have a great home advantage?
No, 2-1 to West Ham.
2-1 to West Ham.
See, the logic part is 1-1. It plays out as a 1-1, but I would want it to go as a 2-1. So that's my West Ham fan base bias coming out. It's 2-1 to West Ham.
2-1 to West Ham. Well, gentlemen, thank you for that. We're going to move on to another big game. After this is Tottenham versus Chelsea. We have Sandeep Krishnan, a Chelsea fan, and Clayton Hogamir as well. He's a die-hard Tottenham Hotspur fan. Gentlemen, starting with you, Clayton. Starting with you, Sandeep, actually. Chelsea have won each of their last 5 away league London derbies. They've never won 6 in a row on the road in their league history. Do you think it's time to change that?
I think definitely, man. Like Big Rome is in the house, and I think he's going to make the difference. As well, that's a missing piece in the puzzle, and every time, since the last 1-2 seasons, especially, we lack that player who will score out and out goals. In front, last season, our top goal scorer was Jorginho, I think with 7 goals. So, that has major. That I think that is a major in our system this year, and I think that is going to be a major difference. When it comes, especially in this season, and as you guys have already seen in the games, which has already already done, he's scored in almost all the games except for the Liverpool one. But yeah, I think that is going to be a major game changer this time, and I think this is going to break.
Well, that's actually a pretty much good observation over there, Sandeep. Clayton, I mean, you were holding the White Hart Lane plaque before we started this, and I got to say now the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium has probably become quite a fortress for them. I mean, they've only twice before have Spurs started a PL campaign with 3 consecutive wins in a row. All right, that was in 2001, 2003. They have won 8 of their last 10 Premier League matches at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, only losing twice. So definitely this stadium is a fortress.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's how they've been playing, wanting to create it as a fortress. Though having said that, I feel like this team is super unsettled right now, and they have been for a while. We've not had a proper functioning starting 11 that's kind of gelled yet. So hopefully they'll put in the effort, they'll put in the spirit that's needed to, protect the fortress, so to speak. But I'm leaning more towards like, Chelsea looks sharp, man. Chelsea looks sharp since like preseason. And like if they get into stride, I think they'll be serious title contenders. So it is a hard game. We've got two defenders coming in who haven't, really settled in yet. Romero, even though like Romero has some experience against Lukaku, he hasn't played with these guys for the last 3-4 weeks. So it's up in the air. Hopefully, I don't know. Again, it's like a reoccurring theme with Tottenham. It's like maybe, hopefully, that's just how it is.
Well, that's a good observation. Tottenham have conceded the most amount of goals to Chelsea compared to any other opponent in the Premier League in their history. It's 103 goals. So, of course, we're going to be expecting a lot of goals in this game. And again, Sandeep, sorry. How do you think the team is going to start out, and what kind of tactics do you think is Thomas Tuchel going to go to try and, get way ahead through that Tottenham defense?
Yeah, I think, like the next 3 games on the road is pretty difficult for us. Like, for example, we face Tottenham now. The week later, City, and then like the next game is Juventus away in the Champions League, right? So it's a tough road ahead. I think what Tuchel has managed to do is his rotation policy in the midfield and defense has been pretty good, and everyone is clicking properly right now. Like, for example, it's Rudiger Christensen some game, then it's like like Chalobah plays one game, then one game Reece James starts in the right as we move towards the center. In the midfield also he's doing a lot of changes when, especially right now, Kante being unavailable. We are playing Saul. We gave Saul the chance. Unfortunately, he didn't have a great opening first game because unfortunately he's played La his entire life, and like moving to the Premier League is like, it's a complete different ball game. Like, he was taking too many touches initially. Like, you can't take so many touches in the Premier League right now. But but then moving but we have Jorginho, we have Kovacic in that position. So it's a good rotation policy which we are facing. Like, one game Mount is being rested and like Havertz was playing there. So it's a full on rotation basis. But the best part about that thing is the team is clicking no matter what the rotation policy is, right? So it's pretty much difficult right now to predict the lineup on what we'll be playing. But I think it's majorly going to be like, for example, Lukaku is going to start for sure, I know, and Marcus Alonso will be there for sure because Marcus Alonso is Tottenham is his favorite opponent. Right? So yeah, so I think and even I think Kovacic, definitely seeing his form in the last games, definitely I can put in Kovacic there, and of course Mendy in the goal. But I think everyone else, and Rudiger, of course, and then everyone else can be like on a rotation basis. That depends on Tuchel on how he wants to go about the team. But whatever is the combination, I am pretty much confident that we will be able to ace this game. We were all actually almost on the verge. Like, if not for the red card against Liverpool, I think we had even that game in our control completely. And seeing the 10 man at that time, showed us the confidence of what we can expect of the season in the coming months, right? So that's what I'm hoping.
Well, I'm glad you mentioned that because I wish other London clubs, and I'm not talking about Tottenham or West Ham, but other London clubs, I wish they could learn a thing or two about when they go 10 men down and and how to hold at least a 1-0 loss. But again, thanks for that, Sandeep. Clayton, coming back to you though, you did mention that right now Tottenham have had a bit of a shaky start to this year, basically what is happening off the pitch, with the whole Harry Kane situation. But he is a very important man in this team, along with Heung-min Son. Sorry. So again, do you think his head is clear? Because he has excellent stats, actually. He's been involved in 12 goals in his last Premier League London derbies, like a total of 7 goals and 5 assists. And considering the uncertainty aside, I'm sure he'll be raring to go.
See, that's the thing with Kane, man. Like generally, if you like in the previous seasons, like the first month, he's just really slow, and on top of that, it's been super unsettled. And so there's a lot of stuff going on. We've got so many players. Lucas and Bergwijn got 2 knocks yesterday. I don't know if they're gonna start. Dyer and Heung-min Son, I don't know what's the situation that they may start, may not start. So hopefully, and if you see the last 3 games, like before the break, like they slogged out those games. They weren't easy wins. They weren't like owning the game. I mean, even though there were spells of owning the game, they slogged it out. So there is this sense of this fighting spirit that I think really stems from Højbjerg in the center, and he just kind of pulls everyone in. And that's what the team is really lacking. And now that we have all of these, starting 11s kind of falling off, it's a really dicey. As far as Harry Kane goes, you never know, man. On the day, he'll just, without even looking, he'll be looking that side and kick the ball in the goal. I've seen him score from half line. So it's I think it'll be a slog. If we can survive the first 20 minutes, I think it'll give us a chance. Maybe in Ndombele, this is his year to step up. He's being a little, I don't want to use the word, but he's being a little bitch.
Can I button up here? I mean, with all Nuno teams, right? Like, I know you guys have won 1-0s and ground out results and stuff, but all the Nuno Wolves was always about taking it to the second half, not conceding, and then nicking a 1-0 win. So it's not so much coincidence. I like Nuno a lot. And no, you guys might come up with something against Chelsea. Hopefully, he's a smart manager, and
right.
I don't know if you get it together.
It will be very interesting to see, because again, like it's pretty much stacked for Spurs. But I wouldn't write out Spurs. And as Clayton mentioned also, I mean, Højbjerg will probably play a very impressive cog. Like he's going to be a guy who's probably have to keeping someone like Kai Havertz quiet, or even Kovacic for that matter. So that's going to be a very interesting battle. Gentlemen, before we move on to the other games, Sandeep, I just want to ask you, what's going to be your score predictions for this match?
I'll go with a 2-1 to Chelsea.
2-1 to Chelsea. Big Rom getting on the score sheet?
Definitely. He and Marcus Alonso.
Marcus Alonso. Clayton, come on. It's got to be Tottenham's chances as well. Where do you think this game is going to go?
If there's no penalty or no red card, I think I probably agree with him. It'll be 2-1 Chelsea.
2-1 Chelsea. Oh, you're giving Chelsea the opportunity, that means.
Yeah, I mean, they look really sharp, man. I've been watching their games. They look really, really sharp.
We'll have to just wait and see, gentlemen. So great predictions. We're going to move on to our next games really quickly. Michael, I'm going to start with you. Newcastle versus Leeds at St. James's Park. Score predictions, and what do you think this game is going to turn out to be?
It's a good game.
Actually, Newcastle normally are the guys you would expect to be able to be a defensive fortress, but as most FPL guys would know, who have been picking Newcastle defenders for the past few game weeks, they have not been the Newcastle of past. And Leeds have been on fire of sorts. I think Leeds take this 3-1.
3-1. Gentlemen, what do you concur? What do you think about that, Karan?
Yeah. See, it's either they'll grind out a draw with 11 guys behind the ball, or Leeds will just run away with it. They're so. I don't know. This might actually be a game for Newcastle, even now that I think about it, because Leeds will leave it so open and so many places to counter from. Saint Maximin, and they've got some players, man. I wouldn't write off Newcastle completely again. Leeds might be that team.
I agree with Karan.
Yeah,
they are very vulnerable on the counter.
Absolutely. Sandeep, Christian, our next game is going to be Wolves versus Brentford at the Molineux. How do you think that game is going to play out?
I think Wolves are getting a bit of the balance back into the Premier League. I think Wolves will get that game. But I just hope Anthony scores for my FPL.
I mean, Clayton, Wolves also have had a very shaky start. Brentford, newly promoted, as Sandeep also mentioned, Ivan Toney, hopefully to score. Would you think that Brentford has this on them, or do you think Wolves can probably get a point out of this?
I think it'll be a good game, man. I think it'll be a good fight. My sense is that I feel like I don't know. Yeah, I think Traore will step up. I think he's gonna do something. There's something magical that's gonna happen again. Having said that, I feel like Brentford bring in this kind of as they said, they've just got promoted. They have this like fighting kind of
emotional
sense. It's a good game, man. It's a good game. I think it's a good game.
For sure. For sure, it will be another good game. And then now coming back to good games, or should I just say misery? Actually, our next game, Michael, is Burnley versus Arsenal at Turf Moor. Arsenal away. Just spare me, just spare me for a bit. I mean, you can be brutal, but just don't be too brutal. What's going to be the score predictions for that game?
I've actually I'm backing Arsenal. I'm backing Arsenal big time for this one. I'm serious. No, I'm serious. Burnley are having the same issues as Newcastle have. They're not the defensive fortresses that they used to be. For some reason or the other, they're not doing it well this time. I think Arsenal, and plus Pepe is starting to look really good. I actually think this will go 2-1 to Arsenal. Sorry, 2-1 to
2-1
Arsenal.
to Arsenal. Well,
Yeah.
Karan, I mean, it's Sean Dyche's men versus Arteta's army. Again, we've not had the best run
Let's not call them Arteta's army. Though.
I mean, I'm just trying to make fun of the whole situation, but I mean, Karan, it's not been the best start to them, right? So,
No, and you know what? It's a glaring game for me, to be honest. Sean Dyche is all about personality and characters, and Arsenal lacks all of that. It's exactly that, and I'm gonna give this probably going to end up a draw. But if anything, I think Burnley can pull a result out. But they haven't been in great form. But then Burnley's never in great form. They're always a set of shit individuals. But collectively, they're just they're a force. They're a defensive force for sure. And I don't know if Arsenal have that grit in them.
Cutting.
Yeah, they won't go fight it out, man. And Burnley will. They'll bring their. It's a big game for them. And I just like Sean Dyche. It's exactly what Arteta needs to be in life. He's a man up.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think you hit the nail on the head. I mean, we do really lack that killer instinct, especially up front. But here's hoping for happier times for Arsenal fans, those who are watching. Sandeep, Liverpool was a Crystal Palace at Anfield. Crystal Palace are coming back from a pretty decent win as well. But Liverpool, again, favourites for the title. How is this going to play out?
First of all, coming to the game, Liverpool at Anfield, there's no question about that. But for title contenders, I think they lack squad depth.
Ooh, Liverpool fans are not gonna like this.
But I think they pick up a couple of injuries here and there, and Minamino, everyone is coming on, and they're not going to win the Premier League title. Considering City and Chelsea and United, on the game.
Okay.
So, yeah.
That's a bold statement. I mean, Crystal Palace, though, Clayton, I mean, Vieira is trying to get the best out of the team that he has, and he seems to be getting the best out of a guy like Wilfried Zaha. And is he going to be the guy to watch? He's probably going to be the guy who's going to give Liverpool a lot of trouble.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I think last game also, I think Crystal Palace, they were playing pretty good, but they killed it once they had an advantage. Once they had a one-man advantage, right? The moment they had a one-man advantage, Zaha scored, they got a penalty, then Zaha scored the penalty, and it was they wrapped up the game the moment they got an advantage here. They showed the fighting spirit at home, but right now, I think it's they are coming up. They're getting their pace back. I think they're getting slowly used to playing against Patrick Vieira, and but I think it's Anfield at the end of the day, so it's a bit
right. Hopefully, I mean, Liverpool most likely the favourites. Well, Clayton, our next game is Man City versus Southampton. Again, speaking of title contenders, these are the favourites as well. Southampton, do they have a chance? Or is Man City just going to put the steamroller over them?
Yeah, I think they're just going to go for it. First game back from the break, right? I think they're going to go all out. Man City have a lot to prove, I feel like. Even though they don't show it, I feel a lot of their players play with this pressure. Man, we've got something to prove. We got to dominate because we've got everything going for us. So I think they're going to go in strong. Yeah, for sure.
They're going to go in strong. I mean, Michael, could you make a case for Southampton, or do you think Ralph Hasenhüttl is just going to have to just pray that they don't concede more than 3?
No, I actually think Southampton actually have certain qualities that I think that could cause City problems. I actually think this will be a tougher game than people imagine it would be. You have to see, because yeah, honestly, that's my opinion at least. I think that the midfield grit that Man City don't have I think that Southampton can actually take advantage of that. Plus, the way the wing backs are really good in Southampton. I think the Perraud, for example, I think he's a brilliant acquisition. Sorry, player. When he played against, he hasn't been doing too well, but then he's been creating a lot of chances, doing too well in the sense in the final stats. But he's been creating a lot of chances. I think they just need to figure out what to do with that Adam Armstrong, Che Adams thing in the front. I think they've got a really good chance of giving a surprise to City. I'm not saying they're going to beat City, but it's definitely not going to be City steamrolling Southampton. I think so.
Hopefully. Well, City definitely the favourites in that match. Moving on to our next game, Karan, Norwich versus Watford. The battle between the two promoted teams. I'm looking forward because I really want Watford to get points in this because I know Norwich has just been like battered and battered and battered. How is this game going to be done? Because they both really need points right now.
I think Norwich will nick this, or it'll be a tightly contested draw. Norwich they've lost with very small goal difference, 1-0 to Arsenal. They've been all right. They've had a few decent games before that as well, coming into the Premier League games, an EFL Cup game. They've been okay, and I think Norwich have something about them. Like got relegated, came straight back. Cantwell, Pookie, they've got some players in there. Brandon Williams, hopefully he can come up with the goods, little United boy. Yeah, I see Norwich nicking this, man. They're at home as well, so it's a Norwich closely a 1-0 Norwich maybe.
Oh, Sandeep, would you make the case? Because, I mean, again, Watford is also a team that's kind of desperate for points as well. I mean, they also should look pretty dangerous. For me, I'm a big fan of Ismail Assar. But do you think they can get something out of this?
I think I agree with Karan on this. I think Norwich also, like in the last game against Arsenal, they also played like really well. But Arsenal had like the upper hand in the game, of course, but they played really well, and I think so. Norwich will take it 1-0 because like they have been consistent. Like that's the best. That's a unique part about Norwich, which I have noticed. Like they get relegated, they come back, they top the table championship, and they come back, right? So I think they have the winning mentality between and them, and I think like against Watford. This time around, I agree with Karan, and I think it's going 1-0. Same prediction.
Norwich favourites for that game. Thanks for that.
Yeah, and also, if I can just add, Norwich
absolutely
the last 3 games, I think they played like 2 teams that were like a whole level above them. I feel like it's easy to
not Arsenal,
judge.
Right?
Yeah, not Arsenal. Actually,
I knew Clayton was going for that.
It's easy to judge, based on like, oh, you lost like your last 3 games. But I feel like, again, even they'll have something to prove going up against Watford. Having said that, Ismail Assar, he's, sly, slinky guy, just kind of good game. But I think Norwich will take it. I think they'll step up. I think that they've got those tough games out of the way. I think they're going to go again. All in.
Fantastic. Guys, we're just going to run through our last 2 games. Villa Park, Aston Villa hosting Everton. Michael, it's kind of a touch and go for both clubs.
Yeah.
You think they're going to get something out of it, or is Rafa Benitez probably going to run away with all 3 points?
I'm going for Everton, actually.
Okay.
Aston Villa have been flattering to deceive. They're trying this weird thing up front with Watkins and Ings, and it isn't really clicking as of now. I think Everton have the goods to be able to see them off, actually. Even though it's Villa's home.
The emergence of DCL should probably help them as well.
Yeah,
Karan Shankar, can you think Aston Villa can grab a point? Or do you agree with Michael as well? Do you think, like, again, this is another Rafa Benitez masterclass?
I don't know. I think they're gonna grind out a draw, if anything. Even though Everton's look decent, but they don't have. Is DCL back? I'm not sure whether he's back for this.
Yeah, even I think
so as well.
It's touching.
Okay, so without DCL, I don't think they're gonna get anywhere. They'll play like a very conservative defensive game, typical Rafa low block situation. But I think Villa have a chance. There's so many talented players, right? So just a good special moment, a couple of them, 2 goals, bang it in. Yeah, I don't see Everton coming back from that. I don't know. I might have got this completely wrong. Everton have looked good. So I just can't make a call on this game, to be honest. Just flaky.
Yeah. Hopefully, I'm leaning more towards Everton. I think Everton are going to take this.
Oh, Everton take it as well. So it's 3-1. I'll come back to you again, Clayton. Our final game, though, is Brighton versus Leicester. Leicester, of course, they played last night in the Europa League fixture in a 2-2 draw against Napoli. Tired legs, do you think Brighton can probably try and exploit that?
I mean, I've not watched any Brighton game yet, so I don't really know where they're at.
They're good. They're runners.
But just based on like past data. But having said that, they played yesterday, so I don't know. They'll have to both of them are going to have to grind it out, I guess. I don't know. Don't really have much to add to that.
Should be a really entertaining game, though. It's a very entertaining game. Both teams are.
Yeah, I think so too.
And, I like the Brighton players. I like Graham Potter. Rogers is class. Leicester's a great club, good players. So it should be that fatigue should play a role for certain, because Brighton have got these, they really get down the wings, their wing backs, they get down Solly March, and they've got runners in there. I think they'll give Leicester a run for their money.
Absolutely. And I mean, again, Sandeep, I'll get the last word on this game. Again, it's Brighton versus Leicester. Again, it's Graham Potter's men. He's, as Karan once just now mentioned, he does have the ammo that can actually beat Leicester City, and Leicester City coming back from that Europa League fixture. Again, there's going to be a shuffle for Brendan Rodgers and his team. So how is that final game going to turn out to be?
Exactly. Like, even I think that tired legs will definitely play a part because they just played yesterday night, and in that game especially, I think I'm more. I think it will be like a little low scoring game comparatively, because Leicester will be sitting back more, considering like their tired legs and all those things, but they will be looking for a counter opportunity where they can just unleash Vardy ahead, and he can get a couple of goals, one goal, whatever inside. So I'm looking at a 1-0, 1-1 kind of a score line here. But that can definitely change once as Karan mentioned, Brighton's approach on the field. The first 20 minutes will play a big part. If Brighton can press, if they can push the Leicester players in there, they may be able to get some goals, and that can entirely change the pace of the game. So I think more critical is the first 20 minutes of the game, and let's see what happens from there.
Well, gentlemen, it has been a pleasure chatting with all of you. That concludes our look into our pre-game fixture into game week 5. Karan, Sandeep, Clayton, Michael, again, thank you very much, gentlemen. For those watching at home, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. I'm Carl from All Balls, and gentlemen, we'll see you into the next week.
Yeah, North London Derby. Peace out.
All right.
So